All right, so for your constructed response, you're going to have two similar questions to like this review. So here are some similar questions. Constructed response 1, it says use two monomials shown below to answer part A and part B. Determine the product of the two monomials. When you see the word product, you're going to think of multiplication. So if I take 24x cubed y cubed times the quantity 4x to the 7th y, and I multiply them together, 24 times 4 is going to be, 4 times 4 is 16, carry the 1, 4 times 2 is 8, so it's going to be 96. I have 3 x's, and I have 7 x's. That's going to be a total of 10 x's. Do I have to do this? No, I'm just saying in case you couldn't remember the formula or the process. I have 3 y's, and I have another y, so that's going to give me a total of 4 y's. Part B, it says determine the quotient of the two monomials. A quotient is division. So the first one should go on top. The bottom is the other monomial. 24 divided by 4 is going to be 6. I have 7 on the bottom. I have 3 on top. The bigger's on the bottom, so it stays on the bottom. 7 minus 3 is 4. If you're like, I don't understand, think about it like this. Here are 7 x's on the bottom, and there are 3 on top. When simplified, you're left with 4 on the bottom. Same thing here. 3 is on top, 1 is on the bottom. Since it's bigger on top, I'm going to leave it on top. 3 minus 1 is 2. Final answer. And lastly, 3x to the 4th y to the 6th times some monomial is going to equal this quantity. So what is the star equal to? Well, 3 times what gives you 12? It has to be 4. I have x on top. Now x is on the bottom. That means that something had to be on the bottom. If x is bigger on the bottom, that means there was bigger quantity on the bottom. So what number minus that 4 gives you 11? What number minus that 4 gives you an 11? It would have to be 15, right? If you look here, 3x to the 4th, y to the 6th, it'd have to be 4 to get that 12. It'd have to be 15. 15 minus 4 gives you the 11. And I have 6 y's. How many more y's would you need to get 11? You would need 5. So that's your final answer. There's many ways to do this, but that's fine. On the back, this is your second open-ended questions. All the questions on your midterm are going to be multiple choice except for these two. Part A, it says to find the difference. So this quantity, nothing's really happening to it, so we can remove the parentheses. But for this one, I'm subtracting each term. Technically, this is a 1, so a 1x squared and a negative 4x squared is negative 3x squared. Here, a 7x, nothing else. And a minus 6 and a minus 3 is a minus 9. That's it. When it says find the product, you're going to FOIL first, outer, inner, last. Part C, it says to simplify. So I'm going to factor the top and bottom. It says x can't be negative 5 or 2. Kind of ignore that. They're saying if I replace the denominator with negative 5 or a 2, it's going to end up as a 0 and we can't divide by 0. But we're not doing that. We're simply factoring so we can find what's left when simplified. This is the difference of two perfect squares. The square root of 25 is 5, and one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative because we get to multiply to get a negative. On the bottom, we have to multiply to get 10, yet add to get 3. The larger number is going to be 5 minus 2. X plus 5 divided by x plus 5 is 1, so your final answer is x minus 5 over x minus 2. The expression x squared plus bx plus 16 can be factored into 3 different positive values for b. What are the different values? If I were to factor this, x and x, you could put 1 and 16, you could put 4 and 4, or you could put 2 and 8. That means, what would the values of b have to be? So they multiply to 16, yet they add to get 17. B could have been 17. They multiply to 16, but when added could be 8. and they multiply to 16, but when added could be 10. So these are your answers. Once again, if you have questions, you need to address them with me.